Today, at first I will see one question of CSR Net about divisibility. Let A1 strictly less than A2, A2 strictly less than A3, A3 strictly less than .an be given distinct natural numbers such that AI belongs to 1 to 100. Then which of the options are correct? Okay. First option, there exists I and j with 1 strictly less than I strictly less than j strictly less than equal to 51 such that AI divides aj. Second option, there exists I with 1 less than equal to I less than equal to 51 such that AI is an odd integer. Option 3, there exists j with 1 less than equal to j less than equal to 51 such that aj is an even integer. There exists I strictly less than j such that difference between ai and aj strictly greater than 51. Okay, and this question is based on pigeonhole principle. Okay, let's see what is the pigeonhole principle. If you have n holes and n plus 1 pigeon that we have to keep inside this hole, then there exists a hole which contain more than 1 pigeon. That means this is the hole. This is n holes. Since n plus 1 pigeon, that means there exists one hole which contain more than 1 pigeon. Have you understood? Every hole contain only one, but one hole contain more than 1 pigeon, because here the number of holes is n and the number of pigeon is n plus 1. Have you understood pigeonhole principle? Okay. The question is saying you have 51 natural number and we have to choose out of 100. Have you understood? That means if you have 1 to 100 natural number, we have to choose 51 out of them. Let's see the fourth option. Here there exists I strictly less than j such that difference between any ai aj strictly greater than 51. Okay, let's see the option 4. Here in option 4, no matter which way you choose 51 natural number, okay, out of 100. In each way there is always exist ai and aj such that their difference always greater than 51. Okay, let us choose the way 1 strictly less than 2, 2 strictly less than 3, 3 strictly less than 4 such that 51. Okay, I am choosing this way and these are AI, AJ. Here the maximum number 51 and the least number is 1. Then you will get the difference 51 minus 1 equal to 50, which does not strictly greater than 51. Okay. That means there is no AIAJ such that the difference between AI and AJ greater than 51. So option 4 is wrong option. Okay. Now I will come back third option. Here there exists J where J varies 1 to 51 such that AJ is an even integer. Okay. In question you have 100 natural number. Okay. And if you see, you will be 50 odd and 50 even. That means 100 natural number look like 1, 2, 3, 100. Here 50 even, 50 odd. Even, odd. Okay. If you choose 51 natural number out of 100 in any way, we have to prove there is always exist an even integer. Okay. This is the third option. Look again. Okay. Now I will apply pigeonhole principle. Here the holes are odd number. Okay. And pigeon are 51 natural number. Okay. Now suppose third option is false. Here $50 holes. Okay. But 51 pigeon is 51 natural number. So by pigeonhole principle, there always exists one box which contain two number. That means always exists one box which contain a number even, because odd number is 50. Okay. That means there will always exist a even number. In such way we consider. Okay. That means our assumption is wrong. So option 3 is always true. Similarly, option 2 is always true, because here even integer, here similar proof, only odd integer. Okay, right. First option is there exists I and j with I and j varies 1 to 51 satisfying ai divides aj. Okay. I will prove the first option by fundamental theorem of arithmetic. What is fundamental theorem of arithmetic? The theorem statement is every natural number n greater than 1 can be expressed as a product of power of prime number. Okay, which is unique rearrangement term. That means x equal to p1 to the power n1, p2 to the power n2, pk to the power nk. Okay, have you understood? Okay, and this term always we can write x equal to 2 to the power a times b, where b is any odd integer. That means b belongs to odd integer and a belongs to whole number. Okay, you have choose 51 natural number out of 100. Okay, have you understood? Here choice of B 50. If you apply the Pigeon principle, let wholes equal to B component, mean this. And Pigeon equal to total 51 number of choice. Okay, that means here 50 choice because wholes equal to B component and B component equal to 50 choice. This is the 50 choice. By Pigeon principle theorem, there exists one whole which contain two pigeon. Let us consider this is the whole which contain two pigeon, and this is the 2 to the power a. Here b always fixed. Here b1, b2, let this is b3, here b50. Have you understood? And this is will be 2 to the power a1, b3. This will be 2 to the power a2, b3. Have you understood? Okay. If a2 less than a1, then 2 to the power a2 times b3 divides 2 to the power a1 b3. Okay, otherwise if a1 less than a2, then 2 to the power a1 b3 divide 2 to the power a2 b3. Okay, that means there always exist two integers such that ai divides aj. That means option 1 is also right. Okay, now I will see the new topic, congruence. What is congruence? Let n be any fixed natural number and we say a be any natural number which are congruent to each other with modulo n if n divides n. Okay, let's see one example. 8 congruent to 3 modulo 5. Okay, that imply 5 divide 8 minus 3. So 8 and 3 are congruent to each other in modulo 5. Okay, right. Minus 5 also congruent to 15 modulo 10. Okay, because 15 minus 5 equal to 20, which is divisible by 10. Some of my viewers can question me. In definition, I have indicate AB belongs to natural number. Now, how can do you allow minus 5? Well, instead of natural number, we allow AB to be in integer. This is one way. Difference of A minus B can be negative. The division may actually happen in Z. Okay? Congruence also satisfies symmetric relation. That means if A congruent to B modulo n, then B congruent to A modulo n. That means if A minus B is divisible by n, then B minus A also divisible by n. That means A minus B and B minus A has to be negative. Have to be negative. Okay? That means if you consider AB belongs to integer, this is not wrong. You can consider AB belongs to integer. Okay? Well, now I will see some basic property of congruent. If A congruent to B modulo n, then if we add C to left and also add C to right, then still maintain the same equivalence. A plus C congruent to B plus C modulo n. C is any number. Okay. Similarly, subtract a minus c congruent to b minus c modulo n. That means I can subtract c from right and subtract c from left. Then I can maintain the same equivalence. Okay. Similarly, multiplication ac congruent to bd modulo n, a to the power c congruent to b to the power c modulo n. I can distribute the modulo. I can write a plus b modulo n congruent to a modulo n plus b modulo n. Similarly, multiplication ab modulo n congruent to a modulo n dot times b modulo n. Okay, right. Now my next proposition is, if a congruent to b modulo n and c congruent to b d modulo n, then a plus minus c is congruent to b plus minus d modulo n. That means this is true for plus, this is true for minus. Proof. We have to prove. I only prove for minus. We have to prove a minus c congruent to b minus d modulo n. Okay. Given a congruent to b modulo n, if a congruent to b modulo n and c congruent to d modulo n, then it implies a minus b equal to n times alpha and c minus d equal to modulo n equal to n times beta. Okay, for all alpha beta belongs to integer. Okay, now a minus c minus b minus d equal to, we can write a minus b minus c minus d, and a minus b equal to n times alpha. That means this is equal to n times alpha. C minus d equal to n times beta. This is equal to n times beta. That means this is equal to n times alpha minus beta. From this line, we have to write, we can write a minus c congruent to b minus d modulo n. Okay, modulo n. Okay, since alpha beta belongs to integer, then alpha minus beta always also belongs to integer. So this is our proof. Okay, well.